Welcome to Wisco Dice! Hey, yo, folks, I am your host, Conesy with the Most, and I'm joined today by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
This is episode 128 of the Wisco Dice Tabletop Gaming Podcast! Today is August 21st, 2024, and on today's episode, we're talking about pirates, we're talking about Kickstarter, and a whole lot more. So join us as we dive in and find out more about Notorious Pirates and Dad's Games from our special guest, Chad Larson. Welcome to the show!
Yes, welcome, Chad. We're so happy to have you here. Do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners and maybe talk about some games that inspire you so they get a sense of who you are?
Sure. My name is Chad Larson with Dad's Games. Some of the games that I really like to play is A Dragon Inn by Slugfest, Fireball Island. That's kind of a throwback game. I loved to play when I was a kid, so I was really excited when Restoration brought that back. And I've been a long-time Heroescaper, and again, excited that that one's kind of back in the works. And I would say Dungeons and Dragons, I've played that for like 30 years. Yeah, those are kind of the ones I really like to play.
Very cool, and nice variety there too, with the different types of Heroescape, kind of like a miniature game, and D&D with the role playing and everything. So very cool. So you are in the midst, or you have actually created a new game. And what made you decide to go from playing games to get into game design?
Well, I mentioned I play D&D, and I've been doing that for a long time. And I'm kind of what you call mostly a forever DM. And so to do that, you have to be pretty creative. And I feel like I've been a creative guy for quite some time, and I've actually made a few like spin-off games, I guess if you could say, over the years of like games that existed, and then I made like my own version of it, and so I've always just been that kind of creative guy. And when I was thinking about this question today a little bit, I think the very first time that I can think of actually creating a game was when I was just a little kid. My dad brought home this big sheet of paper that was probably like 3 feet wide by 3 feet long, and I'd made a board game out of that, and we played that over and over and over. And that probably wasn't that good, and he was probably just playing it just to boost my confidence. But I think I've always been kind of a guy that's liked to create stuff.
I certainly can understand the Forever DM, as I am our group's Forever DM.
But that
Luckily, that's been a little better here lately. I've gotten to play a couple times now, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, I've been DMing for a good 25 years probably.
I just never seem to be able to sit comfortably in the player's chair. I just wander off and get distracted too long with the downtime, whereas sitting in that Forever DM chair lets me... I'm constantly interacting, and I feel like I focus and pay more attention to the game, and when I'm doing that, I know I'm having a good time, so I can help everybody else have a good time.
Yep, and to me, that's one of the things is when I'm DMing, I always like concentrate more on player experience. Like if they're having a good time, smiling and all that, then I feel like I'm doing my job. And that's kind of the same focus that I took when actually creating Notorious Pirates. Is some of those past experiences that I've had in different games that sometimes things didn't go my way or whatever, and that happens. But it didn't make me feel good right off the very start of the game. I tried to think about that when I was making Notorious Pirates, so that would never happen.
Very cool, very cool. So, since we're talking about Notorious Pirates and we're back on topic, what inspired you to create the game?
I don't really know. what really was the inspiration. I think one day I kind of just sat down and like, you know what, I'm gonna just make a game, and see how it turns out. And I'm cutting out cardboard pieces and gluing stuff down and using whatever's lying around the house to make this thing. And then I brought it over to a friend's house and I'm like, hey, let's just play this to see what you think. And he was like, wow, that's really good. And so then I'm like, okay. So I kind of kept added a little bit and added a little bit more and got a group of my friends over. We played it and they all said, yeah, this is good. You should really pursue that. And I think the encouragement from them and from my family too is kind of why I kept at it. And the cool part is it seems like every time I played it, the players always had a really good reception to it. And so then when I started moving to players that don't know me at all, I thought, well, this is going to be kind of the real test. These people don't know me at all. They can tell me my game's junk. If it, what? So all of them are like, where can I get this? Where can I buy this at? And I've never had anybody say, oh, wow, I'm really disappointed in this experience. It's always been a pretty positive feel. And granted, it could be because I'm standing right there. Who knows? But I like to feel like it's like legit.
I can say you caught Suzanne's eye, and we do a lot of play testing and going to events like Protospiel and other events like that, where we're oftentimes being exposed to prototype copies of games in the very early design focus. So I gotta say, if you caught Suzanne's eye and she thought the game was pretty cool, then there must be something to it, and this must be a cool game.
Well,
Yeah.
it was kind of lucky how that happened. The stars kind of aligned there because like I wasn't even gonna demo anything until like 3 weeks before Gen Con. I'm emailing them saying, hey, can I get some events? Can I get in? And they're like, well, you're supposed to have this done, back in February. And so I really didn't think I was going to get in until like 3 or 4 days before Gen Con. My events finally got approved and I had 4 and I'm like, well, hopefully I get some players. And luckily 2 of them filled up right away. And then on Thursday, then my Friday event filled up, and then Saturday morning I had one more, and I just had one player there, but then I had like 6 people walk up wanting to play it, so I had to unfortunately turn a couple people away. But so yeah, I felt very fortunate to have all 4 of my events full, and I got all their emails, and they all seemed pretty excited about it. So.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, as you know, I was just kind of wandering around, that hall waiting for my scheduled game to start and killing some time. And I saw you setting this up, and it just had a really nice table presence and a unique table presence too. And then you started talking about the game, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I felt very lucky to get this impromptu demo from you as you were setting it up. So that was really nice that day. And I've, was thinking about the game, since then. It's a pirate theme, but it's not just a standard pirate game like some of the other ones that we have. But so I've
Sure.
had an overview of this game.
Sure.
Could you
Yep.
provide an overview for those who have not had a chance to see it yet?
Sure. Notorious Pirates is all about gaining the most reputation. The person who has the most reputation at the end of the game is the most notorious pirate. So to get there, there's 2 phases of the game. First phase is called Buccaneer's Bones. You would say a piratey version of Liar's Dice, where players all have a cup of dice and they roll their dice in secret, and then they bid collectively on everybody's dice to see how many dice they think it is. So let's say I wanted like 6 sixes, and then the next person, they would have to say, increase the bid in some way, either face value or number of dice. So they would have to say 7 2s maybe, or something like that. And so that keeps going around until somebody thinks, well, no, that person's lying. So they call them out. Oh, you're cheating, a liar. And so then the dice are revealed, and then whoever wins and gets what's the pirate booty that's in the middle, and that's like some extra pirate cards and captain cards and stuff, and a ship upgrade. So there's 3 rounds of Buccaneer's Bones, and while the winner is collecting all their pirate booty, the other players are all randomly drawing tokens out of a pirate bag they're kind of stuck with, but then they assign these tokens, supply tokens, to your ship, and the supply tokens do different things. They add extra cannons, or they upgrade your cannons, or it's like a chain shot, or there's defense, or there's just different things. The one you don't want is a witch's curse. That one just kind of takes up a spot. But so after 3 rounds of Buccaneer's Bones, you should have all your ships full of these supply tokens, and then it moves on to the second phase of the game, which is called Battle on the High Sea. Battle on the High Sea is basically where you guys basically battle it out. There's targeting discs that you use to put behind your ships, and you put a firing disc over the top of that to kind of keep it secret. And then when it's your turn, you reveal one of your ship's discs. You flip the tokens over, apply all the relevant modifiers, if they have defense and your offense and all that stuff. Roll the dice and see if there's any damage. If they do, then you take damage by sliding your supply tokens off to the damage. There's a damage area on the template. Then it's off to the next turn, and you gain reputation, for all the damage that you do, and reputation for scuttling ships. And so then there's 3 rounds of that basically, and then after that's all done, then you add up the reputation of everybody, and whoever has the most reputation is the most notorious pirate. Now that's sounds like a very simple version of the game. Now there's a lot of variables and tons of strategy in this because, it wouldn't be a pirate game without cheating and trickery and all that. And that's where the pirate cards come in. Pirate cards allow you to do all kinds of different cheats and break the rules in some way, usually. An example, in the Buccaneer's Bones, there's a card that allows you to, after you call somebody out as a cheat and a liar, you make them re-roll their hand of dice, and then they have to use that as their calculated version. Or there's another card for Buccaneer's Bones that allows you to have 2 extra wilds, or you can make other players roll some of their dice outside their cup. There's all kinds of different things. And then there's for the Battle of the High Sea too. There's a deal that's called False Flag that basically allows you a free attack before the battle even starts, and that was actually based on a real thing that pirates used to do back in the day. They would see a Dutch ship over there and they're like, okay, let's throw up a Dutch flag and we'll lure them in, then let them have it when they get in here. So a lot of this cards are based on real kind of things that pirates would do back in the day. And then there's also captain cards as well. That's another variable. At the beginning of the game, you're dealt 4 captain cards. You assign your 4 captains to each one of your ships, and they do different things. Some of them will have more benefit in Buccaneer's Bones, where some of them will have more benefit in Battle of the High Sea. Some of them are really good because historically they were really good. Some of them are, darn, I wish I didn't have this guy because he's really dragging me down right now. So you got to figure out how to get rid of him. And there are mechanics in the game that allow you to times be able to get rid of pirates or pirate captains. Another thing about the pirates, there are these pirate coins. So in Battle of the High Sea, when you damage a ship, you have a chance to kill that ship's captain if you don't scuttle. If you scuttle the ship, then it is automatically dead. So then you get a pirate coin for that, and the person who has the most pirate coins at the end of the game, I think I called it a Captain Slayer bonus to your reputation.
Very cool. So there's a lot in this game, and there's a lot of interaction between the players on
Right,
there.
yeah, because even
Sounds
when
like,
it's
yep.
not your turn, you're still in it because like if I reveal a targeting disc, and the cool thing about the targeting disc is all the ships are numbered 1 through 4. And so you choose 1 through 4 on your targeting disc. When you reveal that, say it's a 4 game, and you have number 3 selected. Well, you can choose any player's number 3. You don't have to say Dan's number 3. You don't have to designate that right away. You can just choose that on the fly. So everybody's wondering, oh, is he going to choose my ship? Who's it going to be? Because it could be you. If it's not ship, then you're kind of seeing how that goes, because you're like, well, do I want to then make a move on that ship if it's only got 1 supply token left? There's a lot of strategies, and the more you play it, the more you come up with new strategies. Like there's a card that allows you to basically swap supply tokens with another ship right before the battle starts. So if you have that card right off the bat, you can kind of create not very good ship today, knowing you're going to hand that off to somebody else, and probably take one of their good ships. There's all kinds of different little strategies like that, and I've played it, I don't know, probably 30, 40 times now, and I've never had exactly the same set of circumstances. But I mean, the goal is always the same. Variables are always different because there's 32 captains, so your chances of getting the same 4 captains are pretty rare. 54 pirate cards too, and so the variable, the different cards and all that stuff too, I think create definitely a unique experience every time you play it.
Oh, that sounds it sounds really cool to have a game that there's not a lot of downtime and there's so much player interaction in, because there's a lot of really good games out there and that, are coming out, but a lot of times you're playing your own game with other people at the table versus
Sure.
actually interacting with them. So that's something that
Sure.
also attracts me to this game.
The thing that I'm most proud about the game is it's kind of spurred on from what I was talking about for player experience. I always think about player experience first. And when I was younger, I played a lot of Warhammer, and that was, you'd spend hours trying to figure out what your army was going to be. And when you show up to the table, there was a lot of times that if I didn't roll first in initiative, I already lost the game, because they go first, they kill a bunch of stuff, and then I get to attack back with whatever I got left. And they attack back whatever they got left. To me, that's not simultaneous combat. That's you go, then I go, then you go, then I go. Well, Notorious Pirates solves all that. So Notorious Pirates, where you start with in the round, you get to use. Well, you could even have a ship that's totally scuttled, lost all its tokens in that round. You still get to attack with what you started with. That's why you slide the tokens over to the side and don't remove them from the game. They're still there. They're still part of that ship, and you still get to attack with it, even though it's probably got enough damage to go down and meet Davy Jones. You still get to attack with it. Then to me, that eliminates that feeling of, oh man, I built this awesome ship and I don't even get to use it. And that's the one thing that kind of drove me away from those type of games when I was younger.
Yeah.
I definitely know that pain, and the old Warhammer 40K days, watching half my army getting shot off the table before I got to go, and then trudging across the table under massive gunfire against certain armies just so I could get in combat. So painful. So that's cool that you've taken that thought process and put it into this game, or to make sure that experience doesn't happen.
I'm actually older school than you. I was Warhammer Fantasy. I remember when 40K came out.
I started square basing, so I never played a ton of 40K. In fact, the roots of this podcast back in 2012 was as a Warhammer Fantasy podcast.
Oh, nice.
So that takes us back to the way back roots.
Yeah. So I think this way of doing it definitely takes out that disappointment feeling that you have, the excitement of building your ship and you got it all ready to go, and then you never get to use it. And so
No,
you're at least going to get to use it once before it goes down.
that's great. That's absolutely, and I think for a high player interaction game like this sounds like, that's absolutely essential to ensure that everybody still feels like they're contributing and able to do something, and keeps people from having that kind of negative experience. Like, hey, it's a player interaction game. You're going to have that, right? But being
Yep.
able to still feel like you can do something and contribute, even after a round where you took a heavy damage or the ship sinks or whatever, that's really cool and exciting.
Yeah, and you can build some pretty tough ones out there too. Like when I was hosting at Gen Con, there was a couple of guys that built some pretty spectacular ships that were just going up and just torching people. And then you got to kind of think cooperatively. How do I get rid of that ship? Like come on, guys, we got to do something about that. So there sometimes can be a little cooperative play in it as well. When somebody all of a sudden has a fleet that's staring you down, that you're like, how are we going to survive into round 2 of this when this guy's torching us? So, and I think the way the combat system is, as far with the targeting, it allows you to make that decision on the fly. So if somebody's really standing out, clearly dominating, well, the other players can kind of do something about that. See how it goes.
No, it sounds great. Besides this, how the game works and what we've talked about so far, what makes you really excited about Notorious Pirates? And more importantly, why should we as gamers get excited about it?
Oh, what gets me really excited about Notorious Pirates is my first one. It's my baby. I'm excited to finally get it out there and for people to see it. Other players should be excited about is there's nothing really out there like this. I've been going to Gen Con. I think this is my 5th time, but I've been going. If COVID hadn't happened, this would have been my 7th year going. And I search for pirate games just to see if there's anything close to what this is, and the answer's always been no. And I think that's pretty exciting to be able to throw something out there that really isn't on the market and is pretty unique.
Yeah, this one definitely is unique in the gameplay. And another thing I noticed when I saw you at Gen Con that was the components. They are very unique with this game also. I believe you're creating them yourself. So
Yep.
everything is one of a kind, nothing mass produced with this game, but they look amazing. Like the quality was
Well, thank you.
great on there. Definitely better than, what I what I would have ended up doing with the same tools initially. Can you tell us about these components and what you are doing with them?
Sure. All like the that you have are really unique. They have that piratey feel to them. There's barnacles on the outside, and in the bottom of them, there's a kraken looking up at you. The ship templates are all made of wood that I cut out. Laser imprint cut out, and then I put a sticker on them, both sides. The targeting discs are made of wood. The tokens are made of wood. Let's see. And then I 3D print the dice myself. I said the cups, the cards. I bought a really good laser printer, so I'm putting them out on 14-point paper, so they're nice and thick and feel like they're the real deal, and not just your next door neighbor printed them off for you on their cheapy laser printer. They look good and they feel good. That was kind of important to me. I wanted to be able to produce a game that when you sit next to something else, it looks like it was probably made in the same way.
That's really cool. And it gives this also feeling of it being kind of rustic and pirate like also almost with the
Right?
wooden components too that you're doing there. Like it's very thematic it felt. So
Well, I
I
had
really like that. I
one
thought,
player at Gen Con tell me that they were they wanted to just get the game just to open it up so they could smell it.
oh,
Like
I
that wood,
bet.
kind of that wood burny smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one other
There you
component
go. You can sell
that
your
I forgot
game
to talk
the
about,
game
the
in air freshener. Yeah.
scorch, right? The scorch tracker is basically it's like it looks like a compass. Was kind of my vision for it, and then it has two dials that you use to spin.
Very cool. Yeah, so it's like this component that you are manipulating and not just moving a little token along a number. It's yeah. No, I do remember you pointing that
Oh
out,
yeah,
and
you're
that was a
spinning it.
really neat way.
Yeah, in all, I think there's well over 100 components for the game.
Hey, so this game is coming to Kickstarter, right? Or actually, I think it's actually live right now as we're talking.
Yeah, live at last
And
night.
so, how long is the Kickstarter going to run?
So it's a 4-week campaign. It'll end September 17th.
Okay. And from when the Kickstarter ends and the funds are collected, because we know this is going to fund and be successful for you, so we already know that, of course. How long do folks need to? Are you expecting backers to have to wait till you're able to fulfill the pledges? Roughly.
Sure. Well, since I already know it's gonna be made, I'm already currently making it. So my goal is to have everything fulfilled hopefully by December, which I know that's pretty quick, but I think I can do it unless unless things go extremely well and I have 500 backers, then and that's a whole different problem, and I'll probably have to send out a mass email to everybody and say, hey, it might take just a tick longer to get this one to you, but if I have that problem, that's awesome. But
That's
yeah,
a great
I think
problem to
December.
have.
Right. Yeah, it's be a great problem to have. Yeah, I think if it goes to as many games as I think it's going to, or as close as I think it's going to be, I think I can get them all by December.
That
That's
would be,
pretty
I think, great.
awesome. Especially when you're used to backing things on crowdfunding and waiting a year to 2 years before you get it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's an
I
extra bonus with this game.
backed one a couple years ago, and it was supposed to be like 6 months, and I think it was 2 years, and I was finally getting the box to it, and that kind of stuff happens. It wasn't the guy's fault, that what happened, and things got a lot tougher to ship from China, but
Right.
you just kind of got to roll with it. That's kind of the Kickstarter thing. You kind of go into that knowing that it's not 100% guarantee, even though the guy is saying it's going to be
Right.
6 months. Life happens sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, but as long as, you're having communication, that's the thing I notice a lot of crowdfunding projects. As long as the creator is having communication and being engaged with the backers, hey, it seems to be pretty good.
Yep. Like that, I was saying that guy that was 2 years. He kept telling us every month, well, this is what's going on this time, or this is what's going on. So it didn't make it quite so bad.
Right. You're kind of on the journey of this game being developed with them, which is,
Right.
always interesting. Now, with your Kickstarter, is there anything special that people should know about or anything unique that is going on with it? Like an early
Oh,
pledger bonus or is
yeah. I do have an early pledger deal. I created a first player spinner that basically is a unique way to determine who goes first in a game, and you can use it for any game, not just Notorious Pirates. But it has an arrow on it, so you just spin it, and whoever it points at is first to go. So right now, anybody who backs within this week can get that for $1. Otherwise, that'll be $5.
very cool. How fun to like have a component with this that's unique to this game, but you can use it with a lot of other ones.
Sure, and that's cut
So
out of wood
that's really
too.
neat. Yeah, I feel like it gives the appearance of it being a very environmentally friendly game when you have the wood. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a
Yep.
you don't see many wood games right now, so
Oh,
I like it.
and wood games that way. It has I think it
Yes.
definitely feels like if I were to get it, I feel like this creator made it for me. He didn't send
Mhm.
it off to a printer, and I got some one of 1,000.
Right.
So when this guy actually, he cut the cards himself. He sticker things. This game pre-assembled, so there's nothing that you have to do to get this game to go. It's going to be
Ooh.
the box. You can set it up, and off you go.
So there's not going to be all of the punching and plastic,
Oh,
like
none
all
of that.
the pieces that you have to assemble and all the trash
Right.
then you
And
have to take out.
the ones you accidentally break, you gotta fix
Right.
or have a
Oh,
defect. You're like, oh, what am I gonna do? These ones will be seen by me or my wife. She's the one helping me do this as well. She ironically she's the one who was painting all the dice. I'm like, you sure that's the job you want? Like, yep. So she's been taking that on. She's got a little crew of buddies that come over and help her paint the dice. That's pretty awesome.
oh, how fun. I mean, that seems like that's a great activity. You can paint dice and talk and
Yep.
relax. I think
Yep.
that's a great idea.
Have a glass of wine and
So,
off you go. Yep.
so when we get the dice with like the four on the side, no, just kidding. I'm sure that it's not drinking bottles of wine as you're painting the
Oh no! Oh
dice,
no! Oh
but
no! Oh no! No! Nothing like that.
you get some unique ones in there that way.
Yeah.
But see,
A little extra paint here
like
and there.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. That's almost like, some people get really, really crazy to have like a designer sign their box that they got that was mass produced. This is like one step beyond that. You're getting the game like actually really, really created by the designer. So
Yep.
now I know you're really busy. You got lots of things going on. Do you have any plans right now in the works for more games that you're going to put together?
Uh, uh, yeah. I got another one that it's in the works. It's called Kitchen Carnage. Basically, chefs who haven't quite worked it all out yet, but there's a kind of a card or a mechanic in there where it's like carnage, and then you can like throw the furniture at each other. Like the throw the refrigerator across the floor or room at somebody, or throw the table or the kitchen sink or whatever. And then the terrain will be movable, and then wherever it ends up, that's where the terrain's at. That now that you have to deal with when you're moving around and stuff. So that one's kind of I would say right now. And then another one that I'm thinking about doing is, I don't know if I mentioned podcast, but I'm taking some college classes right now too. And one of the classes I just took was a forensics class, which was really interesting. The whole time I was taking it, I was thinking, how can I make this into a game? Because there's a ton of material there to do that. And as I was going through the different chapters, like, wow, this could be really cool. So I'm thinking like some sort of a game where you're in charge of a crime lab and you have funds to allocate to different resources and all that. But like I said, I haven't really thought. That's just kind of an idea right now. I'm trying to think of how to make it replayable without making it be Clue, like a Clue on steroids. I want it to be different than that, but still be able to be replayable. I think is kind of the challenge I'm at right now with that idea. Because you could have the crime and you could solve it all, but then as soon as you solve it, then that was done. Then how do I get the replayability? So yeah,
Right.
sure, I'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, it's exciting. I mean, you got to get one game out first, I'm sure, too, before you go ahead, full speed into another one,
That's what my wife. That's
with
what my wife
everything else
tells me.
you're
It's like,
doing.
hey, let's delve into this one first. And oh, she also told me the next one I can't have nearly as many components.
She's the one to sit there and paint them all, huh? But no, I mean, but that's awesome that you have more games that after this one is successful, that those that love Notorious Pirates can look forward to something else coming out from you.
I don't think I have anything else. But Chad, is there anything else that you wanted to share before we go ahead and wrap up?
Oh, I was going to tell you guys. I think I'm going to head your way maybe this fall. Are you guys doing Game Hole? Are you guys part of that?
Oh,
That is kind of our
yes.
home-based convention, yeah.
I'm
You
thinking about
will
maybe
be
popping
there.
over
You
for
could
a visit.
Oh, that
Excellent.
you
Bring it over and do some demoing over
definitely
there.
should. Yeah.
I'm also trying to get into SuCon as well. I'm talking with the folks over there. That's in September, and do some demoing over there as well. figure I might as well, since they're in my
Very cool.
backyard, get over there.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's not a bad drive to come down here, for Gamehole Con for sure. So,
Oh, I was actually just through there actually this last weekend.
oh, well,
So
there you
it's not too
go.
bad of a drive at all.
No, not at all, but definitely let us know if you do end up coming because I want to stop and say hi and, see how people are excited about your game and everything too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I hope to be able to get over there.
yes.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that'd be great. Maybe this time I'll actually not be too busy working, although I have a very busy schedule at Gamehole Con because while it's our home convention, because we're right here out of Madison, it is also means that it's the one that we volunteer to run the most games at and do
Sure.
stuff. So
Yep.
I will be busy, but the board game room is not too huge at GHC, so there's that too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. It's a great
I
convention.
think that's a part that makes most fun is now showing this off to people and just watching them enjoy and have a good time with something that I created. It's a
Yep.
pretty awesome feeling.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you at those conventions, and good luck with this. We think it's going to be a great game that people should be excited to get their hands on. So go out there, folks. If you haven't had a chance, check out Notorious Pirates. It's available right now on Kickstarter. We will have links to where you can find that Kickstarter as well as all of the good information over at what's that website, Suzanne? I just can't seem to remember.
Oh my gosh. WhiscoDice.com. I think
Oh
all
yeah,
our
that's right.
listeners can even tell you. It's WhiscoDice.com, and I will have all the links that you need to find this Notorious Pirates on Kickstarter right there on our blog.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you leave a review of this show wherever your favorite place is to find podcasts. Oh, and by the way, give us a like on our Facebook page. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or Pinterest while you're at it. If you haven't looked recently, make sure you catch up on the blog at WhiscoDice.com. Hey, Brian, what's that site?
Oh, darn. I forget. Justin, what's our website again?
WhiscoDice.com.
That's right. It's WhiscoDice.com. And until next time, everyone, peace out.